Hey guys, the gear for today, I'll show you the brush first so I can get it in some water. It's a Silvertip from Yaqi. I've just used it once. I've discovered I don't really like this handle shape. I'd rather have more of a valley here, but we'll use it more and see if my hand gets used to it. Pretty pleased with the knot so far. Not the softest, but not bad. So we will keep giving it some uses. Sometimes badger brushes do change after like 2 weeks of use or something. I have had a couple blue have a little bit of prickliness to them that does go away after a couple weeks. All right, the blade we're going to use is my Nacet that I've used so many times, and right here 210 plus whatever dots are right here, and so that means today is shave number 216. The soap we're going to use today is from Mammoth Soaps. Pretty cool. He gives a portion of each sale of soaps to, I think, human trafficking prevention programs and things like that. So pretty cool. This is a used soap. They are much too hard to get new. Be really tough. This one's called Almond Leather, and the guy's name is Ben. And from the tub, I sure like the scent. What did it say on the description? Leather, almond. I think there was maybe a floral note to it, and there was one other note, but I can't. Sorry. Look at the description on the video, and you'll see it if you are curious. Now, the razor for today is this, my vintage Gillette. It's a raised flat bottom, but since it does not have the open comb, we're not going to call it a raised flat bottom new. It is the somewhat rare Gillette Hybrid Tech, and it has my Nacet already in it. Show it to you, and there we go. Now this is kind of a medium aggression blade, razor rather, and so I'm curious as to how this is going to act. Haven't tried it in this razor. With this thin head profile, I'm thinking sometimes when your blade gets old, you need to switch it to a more aggressive razor. Kind of already done that. I've got that 68 open comb timeless that you've seen me, if you've watched my channel, use it many times. And just recently I was using that razor after 2 days of growth a couple of times in a row, and so I was used to the tugging. But then I used it yesterday with just 1 day of growth, and I still got a little too much tugging to be comfortable. Now there's a couple of options there. Number one, that's just a temporary thing, and I can try it again with the timeless today. I could today and then tomorrow, and sometimes the blades bounce back. And that means I usually attribute it to user error or something like that. Or you can put it in other razors that you might have and see what it might feel like. Another technique is to, instead of balancing pressure with the top cap and the safety bar, I can put more pressure, raise the angle, the handle angle away from the face, which makes for a shallower blade angle, assuming this, my left hand here is my skin surface. Right, and it's called riding the cap a little bit. And so you're maybe not touching too much the safety bar to the skin. And sometimes that can help you with an older blade to have more of a slicing action and to be more comfortable. So let's play around with this razor today, see if I need to ride the cap, maybe I don't, and just see what happens. Because if I can't find a razor that's reasonably comfortable with and I call that with minimal tugging, then that means the blade's done. I'm not going to torture myself with this blade. I mean, 215 uses is a really long time. I'm curious as how far it'll go. Maybe I'm getting toward the end of its life. I don't know. Maybe I'll find another razor that'll take me another 50 uses. Maybe it'll only take me 10 uses. We'll see. So let me throw a little water on my face. A little less than 24 hours of growth today. Grab a towel here, wipe my hands with. I got a little bit of sniffle. I will try to sniff off camera. Nobody likes to listen to anybody do that. All right, so I've shown you all my gear. Let us take the brush. Now, 3-band brushes like this, you don't really need to soak too long. 3 minutes or so is what I do. And if it's a finish badger that has tips that have been bleached, sometimes I like to soak those for a little bit longer. All right, we're going to load. Let's do a 30-second load. And when it rolls around to the 0 mark is a nice even number. I've used Shire from Mammoth soaps and very happy with the performance. He's got a great soap base there. It's coming up kind of airy right now. It's no big deal. Very light and airy is the froth. And 30 seconds. Okay. Clean off the threads a little bit. And we'll take this brush to my 3D printed lather bowl from Roger Quintero. He designed it. I helped a little. And he printed it for me. So if you have a 3D printer or access to one, or you want to pay the online fees at a place like makexyz.com, then you can also print yourself one of these. You just need to download the files that are at the link in my video description. 1 teaspoon into the soap here. This is just a 24mm badger. Kind of looks like something maybe a little bigger. The handle is very stocky. I'm really pleased with the width of the handle. It's just those little rings are just, they look nice. They make it look a little bit more elegant and whatnot, but they're in the wrong place for my personal ergonomics. Maybe people with smaller hands don't have an issue with it. So 2 teaspoons are now in the lather. Experimenting with camera location with this at this spot. Used to have it up on the windowsill, but because the lights were in the video, it made me kind of more of a shadow, and all you saw, it was a kind of a 90-degree angle shot, so you just saw the side of my head. And I think this might be a little better, even though I'm kind of, since I'm above the camera, my head is small and my belly is even larger than it is in real life. So with we've got, look at those jaggedy edges. We have, look at the lather up on the wall of the bowl. It's definitely not wet enough to come down. Not a problem, that's okay. It just means we are not done adding water. It's not super strong. It's not a strong scent from the lather. Since I'm evaluating that Declaration Grooming Puzzle scent, I splashed that on maybe 20 minutes ago, and I definitely have that on me right now. And so in a way it might be overwhelming, or it possibly could have desensitized my nose to the softer, more mild scent of this soap. So in a way it's a kind of an unfair comparison, so I'm going to refrain from making too many comments about the potential possible weakness of the scent if it's indeed perceived that way, because I get a nice jolt of it when I smell the dry puck, you know. Hopefully I'll evaluate that a little bit more fairly some other time. So the lather is continuing to look nicer. Notice all the jaggy spots, it's still kind of that way, so we'll keep adding water. So I believe, does that mean we have 4 teaspoons in it, or just the 2? I think I refilled it. So does that mean that I have 5 in there now? You guys have been watching, so I just refilled it again and put in 1 teaspoon. So whether I have 3 teaspoons or 5, you should know. Lather is looking nicer now after the addition of that teaspoon. A little bit more pillowy, a little bit less jaggedy. I can tell a definite texture difference. Sometimes you can speed this process up. I recommend this often by not adding this water via the syringe. That's just for a few people probably. Scientific-y kind of folks like me. You know, fill your brush up with water from the sink or a soaking cup or whatever, then pull it straight up, maybe give it 1 or 2 shakes and start with that much water, and then see, then maybe you only need to add 1 more teaspoon or half a teaspoon or maybe none, and see if that's enough water for you. And sometimes that'll get you to a good lather pretty quickly. Alright, so we have either 4 teaspoons or 6 teaspoons now in the lather. Since it just turned creamy, I decided to go for a whole teaspoon instead of half. Looks like I am going to have plenty of lather to do the job. And this lather is a really good looking one. Nice and creamy looking. Doesn't look light or airy or anything like that. I can feel the viscosity as I move the brush around in it. And yeah, those little rings I pointed to earlier on the handle are bothersome. Alright. Let's see what kind of drop we have with it. Oh, nice elasticity there. Kind of like that. Why don't we try that? I created kind of a wall of lather there, and then it didn't really want to support itself, kind of like that. It may still need some more water, but let's just see what this feels like on my face. Face wet. I believe the water here is not hard like I had back home. I believe it's fairly soft. This is a pretty dense brush, and so I'm going to have to put some lather back in it. If it relaxes a little bit, I'll be pretty happy with that. If it doesn't, I might keep it around anyway. Who knows? It does have some scrub, but the tips are very soft. I'm not, it's not prickly or anything like that. To work the lather into my skin just a little bit more. Switch to painting strokes. I have oily skin, so that kind of destroys some lathers. So I don't do a pre-shave wash, and often I don't shave before my shower. All right, now 216 uses. I'm taking it away from an aggressive razor that is too aggressive for me for daily shaves, and to a medium aggressive razor that I can easily use for daily shaves. We'll see how that's going to pan out. Well, that is much better. That's terrific. Wow. I am opening up my handle a little bit more than I usually do. Well, this is definitely, unless the shave quality is crappy. And the first pass is always the most aggressive, the most irritating. This blade isn't going anywhere anytime soon, because this is just fine. Just a little bit of tugging, and sometimes not even that. And there we go. Felt like I had pretty good protection from the soap. So well done, Ben. And let's rinse. All right, now I'm going to take, since the brush was fairly empty before, I'm going to shove it down into the lather. I'm not trying to splay it 100%, just maybe 50%, and just enough to kind of get the lather into the middle part of the brush. Yeah, this is a nice soft brush, especially after the first pass. Don't have to do too much scrubbing since we did that mainly on our first pass, so just lay down a thin layer, and there we go. And I expect that the shave will be even nicer now. Keeping that handle open a little bit more than usual. Seems to be working pretty well. And I am buffing because I'm constantly, buffing is when I'm doing short strokes and going over the same area a couple of times, because it helps me to monitor my angle. If I do a little stroke and I don't get any hairs cut, I don't get any sensation of that, then I know my angle is probably a little, maybe too, it's off. So then I can kind of adjust on the fly. Nice. Pretty comfortable. Well, I don't like that I'm so messy, but oh well. I guess that's one reason to have an extra pass or two in the bowl and not just mix exactly what you need, so that when some falls on your shirt you don't get upset. Just a little quick thin layer. Looks like I've got another 2 passes of lather in the bowl, so 30 seconds might be about right for this brush. And a 3rd pass. I'll do my cheeks instead of going against the grain on the 3rd pass. I just do kind of an identical across the grain pass. I just like going from my ear to my mouth. Even if a lot of people will alternate. If they do 2 cross grain passes, they'll, switch directions, but I get a great shave no matter what I do there, so it's an easier pass, so that's why I do that. Light touch here in the sensitive area next to my neck. Keep it light. If you go back again, if you have to go back again, then no big deal. Nice residual slickness here. Feels good. I'll rinse. Checked out my neck, and I definitely need to hit that area again. Too much length and too many hairs in that trick spot on my neck. Sure enough, that's a reasonable shave. I'm happy with that. Really close on my cheeks as usual. Neck looks pretty good. Several hairs have some length to them, but that will shrink a little bit as my face dries down, and I think it's a reasonable shave, so I'm happy with that. All right, now I brought some Arkadia from Stirling because I'm about to go to bed, and I wanted to just splash on a little bit of something. It's not too heavy before my shave. No stinging. Good technique. It's also something that is helped by the smooth old blade. It's not going to be all jaggedy and mess you up, All right. It is actually a little pungent, but I think it will level off pretty quickly. So, looks like I used 6 teaspoons of water or 4, depending on how many times I filled up. I will watch the video, and when I post my description, I will put that in there in my little summary area for the lather specs, so you'll know. And the lather still looks good, nice and just delicious looking. And that's I've got a little bit more left in the bowl, so I bet I could make 2 passes out of that if I wanted. But since I did 3.5 passes, I'm going to say that I produced about 5 passes of lather. And this brush did well. I'm happy with this guy so far. He is young. I did get him new at a sale that Yaqi had on 11/11. And so You know, he is expected to change after a little while. So we will look forward to that happening. All right, I'm going to clean up, and I'll be back with summary stuff later. So as I'm cleaning up the soap threads here, let me say that I do believe that this particular scent is a bit on the light side. And I will definitely look forward to using it later to see if that's kind of the case. I like the scent, and it'd be unfortunate if it was kind of too light to enjoy during the shave, at least to my nose. This is what the brush looks like after being rinsed clean. Just nice and soft. There are other Silvertips that are softer, but this is a cheap Silvertip. And so there's something to be said for that. I think this is a perfectly good one, and over time it might, with a few more uses, it could change even more. But I think it's a pretty good Silvertip. And I got a little bristle there. I don't count, I don't really mind if it sheds until like 50 uses or something like that, because it means that somebody, unless you see chunks at the base of the bristle, if you see chunks of glue and things like that, that's not a good sign. But most of the time when I pull bristles out, there's not that. It's just a straight bristle, and it's just one that got stacked into the brush making mechanism, and it was too low, and then they put the glue around the base, and it just wasn't high enough in to touch the glue, and there was nobody to comb it out, because this is a cheap brush, and we don't want to pay somebody labor to comb out bristles. I don't mind doing that myself. I feel skilled enough to do that. Okay. It's a good shave. I'm enjoying the Arkadia, and yeah, it has reduced some, and yeah, it's nice and fresh. I could see this could be a good morning scent as well. If it were stronger, it might be an irritating night scent, but kind of a cologne type scent, fresh, kind of citrus a little bit maybe. Maybe green and citrus kind of at the same time might be my guess. And good shave. We'll keep. I think it's really neat that I got a nice razor like this to work on with the Nacet to keep him alive, and so we'll keep on going. Now that we've hit 216, I'm gonna open him up like that, and I already gave him a good rinse, and so I'll leave him like that to kind of air dry, and that's what I do when I know I'm going to be using the same razor the next day. All right, we are in awesome shape. It's a good shave, very comfortable, no irritation, anything like that. I'm happy with that. All right, hey you guys, end of the year is coming up soon, isn't it? Yeah, another day or two. Hope you have a Merry New Year if you don't catch my actual New Year video. And I hope it brings good things for you and your family and your loved ones. All right, now, take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and was happy to learn about the continued performance today of Mammoth soaps, and happy with the proceedings, the way the Yaqi brush is working out, and very happy that we have another razor that I can use the Nacet blade in, keep him going, see how long he'll go. So fun things to learn today, and I think we're good. Good night.